Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So this is obviously going to be a short one, and my blush is popping. Okay, so tonight I just on a whim decided that I was going to share with you guys my favorite eyeshadow palettes. Now, it just so happens that 4 out of these 5 palettes are under $15. Or you can at least get them under $15 because most of these brands I'm going to mention do go on sale quite a bit. So without further ado, I will shut my mouth and we will get on rolling. Okay, so palette number 1. This palette is so near and dear to my heart. This is the Colourpop Lilac You a Lot. And this is my favorite palette for neons. And there is just some really pretty purples and some pinks, and the shimmers in here are gorgeous. I mean, even swatching it, I'll swatch a few of these for you. These are just so beautiful. They go on so easy, they're smooth. The shimmers I do not find to be powdery at all, and I know that that is not typical for a lot of shimmer shades in drugstore or lesser expensive brands, but the shimmers in here are not powdery at all. The mattes are not powdery at all. They blend out beautifully. They look amazing on the eyes. I will insert now a picture of a look that I did using only shades from this palette. I apply these shadows with a primer underneath. They do not budge for the entire day if you use a primer. If you don't use a primer, they'll still last a relatively long time. But they just last a little bit longer if you do use like a white base underneath. I would recommend using a white base underneath any type of neons. You don't really need to with these. I just find that if you do use a base with these, the color tends to last a little bit longer and it looks a little bit more vibrant and out there. But all in all, this is such a good palette, and this retails for $12. I actually got it for $9 on sale on Colourpop's website. Okay, moving on, we have another Colourpop eyeshadow palette. Colourpop's getting a lot of love from me because their palettes are just awesome. And this is the Colourpop Going Coconuts. This is actually my favorite palette out of all of the ones I'm going to mention. This is my go-to everyday palette. You have really pretty everyday neutral shades in here. This dark brown is stunning. I use it on the lower lash line all the time. I use it on the upper lash line to smudge out eyeliner all the time. These, just like the Colourpop Lilac You a Lot, the shades last all day long, but with this one you obviously don't really need a white base because these are just neutral. Although I would still recommend using a eye primer, but to be honest, I would recommend using that no matter what palette you're using, because it will help your eyeshadow to stay smudge proof and beautiful all day long. But this is my go-to everyday palette, just like the Colourpop Lilac You a Lot. You can get this for $12 on their website. Okay, so my next one. This is actually the very first eyeshadow palette. Was this the first one? I don't remember. I think this might have actually been in the first 5 eyeshadow palettes I ever got. And this is the Milani Bold Obsessions. And I'm going to go ahead and flip it over now. And this was also my go-to everyday palette before I got the Colourpop Going Coconuts. There are some really pretty neutral shades in here, as you can see. They have some really pretty blues over here. And this shade right here, oh my god guys, it is gorgeous on the eyes. They apply easy. You can use it with either a finger or a brush for the shimmers. For the brush, you can use any sort of really eye blending brush. I have used higher end brushes like Morphe brushes with this, and it looks fantastic. But I've also tried like drugstore elf brushes with this palette, and it's amazing. I can't say enough good things about this palette. I believe I got this for like $8 on Amazon when I purchased it, but it retails on Milani's website for $14. However, Milani goes on sale a lot. And just as a side note, you know, I am not affiliated with any of these brands. I don't make commissions or anything on this platform at all, so I'm not being paid to like promote these products or anything. I just genuinely think that these palettes are fantastic. They're amazing. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Okay, so this next one, I think this is actually the first eyeshadow palette that I ever got, and I got it at Walmart. Some people say Walmart's not drugstore. I consider it drugstore because, I mean, quite frankly, you don't see a whole lot of high-end stuff at Walmart, like, ever. But this is the Profusion Cosmetics Naturals palette. In yesterday's video that went up, you saw me use the Profusion Cosmetics Paradise palette, you know, which is great. But the formula of these is much different than the formula of the Paradise palette. You can see that I've used it so many times. These shades are like all muddy and stuff, but everything in here is gorgeous. The mattes are so smooth. They blend out so beautifully without looking muddy at all. And the shimmers are like butter. They feel so soft, they feel creamy. When they go on your eye, they don't slip around at all. And you don't need to use a primer at all with this, I have found that the color will stay on my eyes all day long, even without a primer. So I will say that you don't need a primer with this palette. The shades are beautiful and they're going to stay there all day no matter what. And you can get this palette for $10 at Walmart. I think Target also sells Profusion, and you can also go through their website and use Rakuten, God, I always say that wrong, for cashback. Okay, so this next, and actually the last one I'm gonna mention today, besides an honorable mention, some people would say that this is not drugstore, that this is high-end. I personally consider this drugstore because you can always get this cheaper than what it normally retails for. But this is the Morphe Fierce by Nature 3503 palette. And let me get this open for you guys, and these are the shades. These are amazing. If you're looking for bright, obnoxiously neon oranges and reds and a couple of greens and amazing shimmers, this is your guy. This is your guy. The only bad thing I'm gonna say about this palette, is the one shimmer that's right in the middle, and I'm gonna swatch it for you guys now. It looks amazing on your finger. When you go to put it on your eye, it does have a little bit of fallout. Not a ton, just a little bit. But you can fix that real quick if you use a brush and you spray it first. If you use a brush and spray it, that middle shimmer shade, there's no fallout at all like that. And I'm just gonna swatch a few of these for you guys. But the pigment is amazing. Okay guys, so that's all I have for you guys today. Those were my favorite eyeshadow palettes that, as a bonus, are under $15. If you like this video, you can give it a like, a thumbs up, and you can subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of every time that I upload a video. As always, you can leave down in the comments what I should do next time, and you can leave them on my Instagram, which I will pop up right here. But thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.